Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here at Beyond the Breakpoint with Matt Garnett, your host. Today, we are blessed and we're excited to be joined virtually in studio by Andre Sylvestre. He's the founding partner and president of Meritas Capital Partners. Andre, thanks a lot for being here with us on another episode of Beyond the Breakpoint.
Thank you for having me, Matthew.
No problem. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much. So, Andre, before we got on the call, people want to know a little bit, about our guests and a little bit about them personally. I know that you're an avid runner. I know that you've got a bit of a running injury.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened there.
So we have a running club here, down at Don Valley Parkways, and every Tuesday and Wednesday we have a run,
Nice.
rain and shine, and then it's snowy. You step on the wrong foot, and you slip and you got injured, but it's okay. It's like it's part of life, right?
Well,
And it's something that I enjoy doing. I like going outside, doing doing sports and activities, even though it's cold.
the joys of being here in Toronto, Canada.
It is
Rain
indeed,
or
yeah.
shine, snow, doesn't matter. We run.
Doesn't matter. We'll
Up the
still
same.
run. Yeah.
Well, welcome. Thank you for being here, Andre. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
So we know that you like to run, but tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more about Andre and what you're doing over at Meritas Capital.
Thank you, Matthew. So I started my career as a institutional sales, as a stockbrokers,
Oh, nice.
back way 20 years ago, and then went into derivative tradings, trade all kind of instruments, you name it. We traded options, ETF, rolling gold, and anything in between. Even we touched a little bit on the mortgage back in the past as well. It didn't go
Wow.
very well, as you know it. And 2008 happened, right? And I moved industry to private investment, doing private equity, working for family offices. And ever since that time, I focus in value creation, M&A, corporate finance, and in the area, Matthew, until my friend and I, we founded Meritas Capitals. And we help company in a lot of different areas, still the same in M&A, corporate finance. But right now, with him coming on board, we have capital market. We have also private lending advisory. So we help basically business people to get financings. As you know, the situation right now with tariff, trade um, obstructions and everything else, a lot of company fell below what the banks are wanted from them, right? So sometimes they need to pay off their debt. The bank call it off, so we help them to refinance. We get private debt involved, and non-banking lenders basically to help them with the situation. Though that's what I do most of the time. I'm also teaching as a part-time lectures at local
Wow.
college here, Zeneca, and I enjoy sharing knowledge and learn also from the students, what we do, and giving them all the perspective, applications of what they learn in college and what really happened in the real life. That's a
Love
little
it.
bit about me.
Listen, that is a storied past, my friend. There's a lot to unpack there, Andre. And so I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking,
of course.
we did speak a little bit about the derivatives and everything before, but
Yeah,
Meritas Capital right now, what
yeah.
do you guys say you have in terms of your AUM? What do you have in assets under management right now?
Because we are advisory, we don't do on our own balance sheet. We
Oh,
help companies. We work together with private lenders. We work together with family office in around here as well as in the US, and as far as Asia and the Pacific to finance the deal. So we are not taking part of finance from our own balance sheet at the moment.
okay, got it. All right.
Yeah.
So give me an idea at Meritas Capital. some of the deal
Yeah.
sizes that you guys have looked at in terms of providing finance for M&As? Like what kind of deal size are we looking at that you guys get involved in?
Yeah, we're looking anything between five, it's mid-market, 5 to 15 or 20 millions. That's where, that's where the sweet spot is. We're looking to, if it's bigger than that, then we have to bring someone else in, right?
Yeah.
To join force because the deal getting too complex. We're only like 4 or 5 people in a company, so we need to work together with other investment firms when it comes to bigger deals, but the sweet spot's around 5 to 15
5 to
million.
25
Yeah,
million.
yeah,
I got that. So now that we know that you're an avid runner, you're
yeah,
a professor at Seneca, you
yeah,
run, a successful capital firm.
yeah.
Uh, what does a typical day look like in the life of Andre Sylvestre?
Yeah, I woke up in the morning, usually around 6:30. Prepare my day, coffee, of course. You can't function without caffeine. I like my mocha pot. Yeah, I
Right there,
use
Andre, right there.
yeah, I use my mocha pot. Making a strong manual espresso, and then preparing breakfast, lunch for my kids. Um, Other than that, after dropping him off school, then I came back to my place. I work from home most of the time. Sometimes I need to go to the office and teaching as well in person, but most of the time I work from home. So I start with looking at my agenda today, right? And to plan, what this day is going to be. I used to make a lot of notes. I'm on old school, so I use post-it. I write down all the things I need to do and I scratch along the way. Help me with keeping things on track.
Andre,
I
even
always
like
have
this?
a yeah, I always have post-it. you know, uh, I've got that, and then look at clients, somebody I need to call, or deals I need to follow up, right? Or financial models I need to finish, because that's what we help the client do,
Yeah.
restructuring their business, thinking about the strategy, how to create value, how to present that to the lenders, because most of them, they're business people, they're not too savvy in terms of presenting their financial statements, right? Which area they're strong, they're not, and what is their plan when it comes to asking people for money. You need to tell them what's the proceed, right? And how do you plan to pay them back,
Yeah.
and like fallback plan scenarios, all the sort of things that we need to prepare them for. Take a quick lunch. Sometimes I like to take a quick nap, 15 minutes, 20 minutes,
Power
power
nap.
nap, wash yourself, wash my face, and then go back to work.
Well, listen,
Mm.
that's the benefit of working at home that COVID has given many of
Traditionally,
us. It's
yeah,
wonderful. um, so, question for you. You touched on value add a couple of times,
yeah,
and our listeners and the viewers that we have coming to our channel
yeah,
are they're across the spectrum. We have young entrepreneurs looking to get into the market, which is
yeah,
why we opened up this channel called Beyond the Breakpoint, our
yeah,
podcast. But it's also for entrepreneurs who've been at this for 20 plus years, much like myself, and I'm assuming you as well,
yeah,
Andre, that we're approaching a new paradigm. We're approaching a new world economy. We're approaching the dawning of a new age, be it the
right,
digital. And, you know, a lot of financing, a lot of corporate trajectory, a lot
yeah,
of things that we're doing are going to be changing very soon. And I think we're in what used to work isn't going to work necessarily anymore. So we've got to
mhm,
get a little more innovative with what we're doing. And that speaks to value add because on several occasions, Andre, you've spoken about value creation and value add.
yeah,
Now, Andre, you and I both know I have a 25-year plus history in the commercial real estate
yeah,
development, asset management, property management space. So value add to me means one thing of repositioning an existing asset, But can you please explain to our viewers what you mean by value add creation when you're looking at corporate M&A or you're looking at financing a business?
Right.
What do you do to add that value for the client?
Yeah, it's a lot of a lot of to unpack.
Yeah.
So let's start from the situation these days, right? With the new U.S. administration coming in, new paradigms, something we've never seen before, right?
Yep.
I'm a trained economist, I have an economics degree, and I know a thing or two about
Oh yeah.
yeah, about economics and tariff and stuff like that. So we've never seen anything like this. I also been in the market in the investment world for 25 years. I can tell you with utmost certainty of never anything has ever happened like this in the
No.
past. We used to have a trend. We used to be able to tell, uh, uh, we used to be able to feel it, right? And there's a norm, like a normal norm, and gold like this, and then US dollar is going to be like this. And when the market move like that, we have a patterns, which right now we don't have one. It's definitely uncharted territory at the moment, where you wake up in the morning and then tariff is 20%, right?
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
and then you go to sleep and then the next day is 5. So there
Yeah.
is no certainty. I think that's what we need to start with. By saying that means the business has to be a lot more agile these days, because there is nothing we can grab on, right? Nothing. There's no strong. I'm not, for lack of a better word, fundamentals that we can hold on. You know. Um,
I think you'd agree it's very fluid right
yeah,
now, isn't it?
very fluid. There is no certainty in anything at the moment. Anything is just everything can change, and it can change overnight.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Asset classes, you mentioned real estate, property. We are in Canada, as you know, the market has been like this for decades, right?
Yeah.
Even through 2008,
Yeah.
probably just dipped about 15, 20%, nothing less. But today is a different story, and it's as your podcast right now saying, right, the outbreak in it. It's really relevant of what we're experiencing today. So starting from there, our way of doing business, our way of um, creating value has got to change too, to follow, right? You can't rely on what you know in the past at all.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
almost it's almost invalid, nothing. Um, if you remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. Ben Bernanke, the economist, previous Fed chairman, was called to the House back then, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, and then he was asked, explain about gold price, because the price was erratic and stuff, and he said like, well, I can't pretend, I'm not going to pretend to understand gold. And you can see if Ben Bernanke, the guy who I use the book to learn economics 101, right? And he was the chairman of the Fed. He cannot even explain anymore things that happen around us today. And that was 5 years ago. Today is even worse. So you can imagine business can't behave the same again. And you have to incorporate to your area as well, AI technology in every aspect. So when you mention about value creation right now, you've got to incorporate a technology in your business, whatever your business is. So you've got to include that. I was the CEO of the petrochemical company on behalf of the family. It's business, right? It's brick and mortar. It's really, I can tell, archaic, right? So I told them, you've been doing things the same thing for 20 years, and look at where you are now. If nothing changed, you will not see the you will not see the light of day in about a year or two. So we changed that. We incorporate technology. We create even though it's petrochemicals, we need to be able to deploy AI in this sense, right? So we start learning our own data and
Yep.
to get sense of what what insight we can get from
I
our
agree.
own data, right? So from there we learn about trends, we learn about customers, right? We learn about cycles. Some business we actually have that data, but we never have the ability to process because the technology wasn't there. It was expensive, right? You have to hire consultants, but now it's at GPT, you pay $100 a month, and it work for you 24/7. So that's the part that
Dawning
I
of a
meant.
new age. It's the dawning of a new age.
Agree. So a lot of things, it's hard to unpack one by one, but I think silver lining is number one. We are living in a very different world. Politically, geopolitical is not the same anymore, and it's really hard to comprehend. I cannot tell you how, the magnitude of geopolitical things that happen these days, right?
Yeah.
Compared to what happened in the past, where the U.S. is no longer, like the cornerstone of of democracy or whatever we want to call it, and it challenged every every theory or patterns that we believe in the past. So that was gone. And then the second one is the dawn of AI and blockchains. Those two are cornerstone. It's groundbreaking. It's uh, it's nothing that like we ever seen before. We've seen technology. I was born when we used, rotary phones, right?
Rotary
You need to
phones.
dial up. And even in the past, I know I need to dial 0 for operators, right? You dial 0 for operators, but today everybody has a phone, and the technology is gone in a way that changed our life forever. And now quantum computing is coming up, so it's just getting more and more interesting, and challenging, of course. I keep telling my students when I teach them the first week, I told them when I graduated 1999, I had a financial calculators, feel so proud to have that. I'm ready to conquer the world, right? With the financial calculators on my hand. Well, right
Yeah.
now, guess what? It's not gonna carry you anywhere.
Andre,
You,
I
yeah,
graduated in 1999, the exact same year you did, from York University. So you and I,
yeah,
you and I can laugh about those calculators. I know exactly what you're talking about.
right. So it's crazy. Right now, you need for students, for business people, to be more successful, you have to do a lot more things. It's a lot harder, right? The hurdle is higher,
Yep.
and the requirement, even though you have a lot more tools, yes, but you need to know to use the tool. So I think to close a bit on this introduction about value creation, we have to think of value as something totally different. You have to be agile, you have to be adaptable, you have to move quick. You cannot take too long, You've got
Yep.
to be almost reactive every day today, respond, You've got to have a strong fundamental and then respond to whatever the world throw at you every single day. And second one, technology is no longer perks or like gimmicks, but it is part of your business. You cannot let that out because once you're not incorporating it, you're outdated, and competition will take you out very quickly.
You'll be left behind. Yeah. So Andre, that's great. Thank you for that. So I think that explanation from you was wonderful because it not only covered what value creation looks like to you now, which is embracing AI, embracing blockchain, embracing technology, being part of the 22nd century and being ahead of the curve, not just looking at, okay, how do I reposition this? How do I do that? How do I split this? And I mean, those are old ways of adding value, which bricks and mortar real estate we always did and still to some degree do. But looking at the softer side of things being on the technology front or the AI front, that's really interesting. But I think what your answer also does is it kind of answers a question I was going to ask, which was,
Yeah.
what are the industry trends that,
Right.
like, if you're Andre Sylvestre and you
Yeah.
are a prof teaching 80 students in
Yeah.
Seneca College,
Yeah.
you're running a capital firm, and you're looking at industry trends, what are you telling these beautiful young students, these young minds who are our future and our tomorrow,
Yeah.
focus on, which is what you're doing on your industry trends for your clients? Is
Right.
that AI? Is that blockchain? What is it?
Yeah. One area that I think will grow so much is securities, cybersecurity.
Ah,
As you know, we are right now billions of dollars. It's a $1 billion business, right? Scams, phishing emails, and stuff like that. I myself, I like to experiment. I'm a curious person. Uh, uh, I like to understand things how it works. So every now and then I will reply one of those
oh God, no.
scam emails. I'm not, yeah, but I'm not. You've got to be smart, right? You use a Tor browser. You create, disposable emails that I only access the email securely to a separate device, that I have to fiddle around and play with, sometimes browsing whatever happened in the dark web to understand what's going on. So never use your own computer, never use the same device. You got to separate that. But having said that, that brings me to answer your questions about what's the trend in the future. Security will be cornerstone of our life. If you think about cybersecurity when we were kids, right? It's only big companies can afford to do that.
Right.
We don't need it. I mean, like, I don't know. I had email 96 and 97, but no one think about cybersecurity, right? Even today, people still think cybersecurity is for big companies, big banks, or even like medium-sized company won't need so much of it. But as we grow more digital these days, everything is digital, right? Your face is stored in your phone, your thumbprint is in your phone. Your computer has everything, people need to basically alter your life forever. So this is one that I told my students, and also a couple of industry that I spoke to. They've got to start investing in it, in securing your digital ID or footprints, because it is not a joke anymore, even without quantum computing, right? You can see that people are getting more and more savvy with the bad people, and unfortunately, there are bad people out there.
Yep.
For those who doesn't know, those are
Right.
bad people with bad intention.
So
Uh,
let me ask you this, Andre, because that's a really
yes,
interesting point.
correct.
And I love where your head's at on
Yes,
cybersecurity. I think you're
yes.
bang. I think it's not going to be something that's just for the big banks and the Fortune
No,
500 companies. It's going to be for the average
us
everyday
or
person
us.
who just
Yeah,
wants to do their internet banking or whatever. They're going to need.
correct, correct.
I'm there with you, Andre. Like I'm there with you. But what I'd like to look at is knowing where Meritas Capital
Yeah,
Partners is currently positioned within your
yeah.
clients within your market. What would you say is working well for you guys right now and for your clients? Where have you positioned yourselves that you're like, you know what, that was a good move that turned out really well for us?
Yeah. So we focus on restructuring at the moment. We saw the writing on the wall when Trump, the U.S. administration elected, and where they are going with tariff and trade, right? Abandoning all this cooperation. It's a traditional market. I think there's a silver lining here for us as well, Matthew, as a Canadian, right? We were very complacent. We rely too much on foreign market. We don't
Yep.
really develop our own market. As you know, just now we realized that the biggest trading partner for Canada is actually Canadian, right? So there
Yeah,
are so many trading barriers between the provinces and the territory that that's
which is so
unnecessary.
silly. It's
So
just silly.
silly. It's dumb. even within the same province, I keep telling my friend, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're mechanics in Mississauga, you cannot open a like chop like a chop shop in Toronto. So that's crazy. Anyway, what works today is because we saw that and we helped them to secure some of the uh, war chests right before things gone bad. So we spoke to them, we got them some buffer and line of credit, or we secure financing for them to prevent the uncertainty that is coming. It's since the early 2025, and right now there are a lot of companies that will there are and going to be not in a good side of the bank, so bad list of the big banks, and those are what we are looking and we were talking to. It's interesting when we mention this, Matthew, because this is December and banks are putting out their results, right? Their performance, financials. They're all making record-breaking profits. They're all of them, all the big banks. But at the same time, they're squeezing their loans, right? They're not lending just because they're making profit. Doesn't mean they will share it with you. So, or are making it easy for you. So basically, the lending guidelines getting more stringent. The banks is getting smaller and smaller. So a lot of small business, medium size, will be having a problem servicing the loan, or even the bank will ask them to call the loan, right? So those are the part that we're working right now to get them access to alternative lending that the bank is not giving.
Liquidity is a real problem.
Liquidity is a real problem right now. Just because the bank has money doesn't mean they will lend it out, because a lot of uncertainty, right? And then they don't know what's going to happen. As like anyone else with interest rate these days, we never know. It's uncharted territory. We don't know. I'm glad I'm not involved in setting up the benchmark rate for Bank of Canada or the Philippines.
Which, by the way, they just announced they're not changing and they're holding still. So
it's headache. I can tell you right now, it's scary because it's almost they're flying blind. As you know, the U.S. just restructured the whole statistic bureau and stuff, and then they were out late when it came to, the labor job, the payroll, right? And it's going up, going down, they revise it. So a lot of intervention in here, which I think very dangerous. It's a very dangerous territory. When you start fiddling with data, manipulate it the way you want it to, so you can look good, right? I know his job is going up, but it's not. And then you make decision based on that. And it's a rabbit hole that you don't want to go.
I think we call that cooking the books, don't we? That's what they call it in corporate world, right? Where you.
Unfortunately, isn't that what's happening right now with the government, with the administration, really pushing the agenda, right? The tone is no longer like advising, but if you don't do it, I'm going to replace you, fire you. So this is like like the area we never seen before, regardless good or bad. Politics.
I think this is something that I think the listeners and we'd like to know. Looking at your business, so not looking at the economy at large, taking a more micro approach. Because we, with you as an economist, we really benefited from your macro knowledge, and thank you for bringing that to us. That's I feel like everybody should be paying us right now for an hour of Andre Sylvestre's time, but on a more micro level. On the business side of things, being an owner of a business, which you are, what metric are you looking at for your business, Andre, for let's say the next 2 quarters? Because we know that, I think there's no secret, Andre, that you would agree with me. Everybody in business knows 2026 is going to be a phenomenally challenging year. I think the word is out on the street. 2026 is going to be a difficult year. So knowing
Yeah.
that going into it, advising your clients, looking at your
Yeah.
own business and teaching your students,
Yeah.
what would be a metric that you think you could control and that you could work on that you'd want to see quantifiable results within the first 2 quarters of 2026?
Right. So interesting question. Is a hard one.
It is.
Um,
It is.
um, Regardless the industry or regardless who you are right now, what level, I think it's safe to say that we all need to go to basic. We all need to shed all those extra fat. I'm a runner. I like to use a running analogy, right? When you're carrying a lot of fat, you can't run fast, right?
That's right.
We're not bodybuilders. We don't need big muscles, We need lean muscles to run. The same thing like business. So it means that today, regardless of who you are, personal, business, small, big, medium, or whatever size, whatever industry, you've got to go back to basic, make it simple. What is your strength, right? What is your core strength? If you are like us in Meritas, we are good in advisory, right? We've been, all of us has been in the business for over 20 years. So we know a lot of business models, done some work. We've looked at different models, financials, and how to advise clients. That's our strength. And we don't go too far. For instance, like doing private placement on fancy, a convertible, this and that, offering a very complicated, complex structures. We shy away from that for now. Let's go back to basic. We advise them. We want to get the company back into track and get a healthy cash flow, right?
Yep.
Those are the key today. So safe to say,
Top line revenue, operations, right?
yeah, operations, and then top line revenue. Look at your clients. Who is your core clients? Service them, right? Focus on that. A lot of shiny objects, leave them out, right? Sparkling around you. Don't be tempted to go too far from who you are right now. So I think that is what we need to be careful. Why? Because number one, resources getting hard to get, as in
Yes.
capital, as in people, right, and stuff like that. So you don't have the luxury of making mistake. If the economy is going good, the market will help you, right? The sales it's very forgiving. It's like golf. You're having a very expensive golf golf sticks or woods that can actually help you. But this market is very unforgiving. You cannot make mistake. Once you make mistake, you're gonna pay it dearly. So focus on what you know, what your core strategy is. Try to maintain, like hug your clients like you are. Don't let them go. Be with them, spend time, build relationship that's already there, and expand within that relationship instead of going to a new business. Forget about it for now. Not that you don't need to, but
That resonates with me. It really
yeah.
does. So
The same thing if you are students or whatever, focus on what you're good at. Don't study too many things. Oh, this is new blockchain. I want to study. This is AI. I want to study. If you're good at accounting, if you study accounting, be a very good accountant, because those are your capitals, right? That's where you start. The same thing like companies. If you already have a good product, running product, there's one company that's doing bicycle right now that we advise, very fancy, carbon body alloy bicycles. Don't go into, let's say, making merchandising or making or stuff like other part of the bike. Just focus on your bike, focus on what you have now, make a little bit change here and there, trendy stuff like that, but don't go too far. Stay there, grab your market, strengthen it, because it's not going to be easy in the next future. People hold on spending, right? As you know, you and I hold on spending. I'm not spending as much of this Christmas as last year because, of course, like economy is not getting any better. So having
Q4
said that,
results will be
yeah,
pretty.
the share of wallet getting smaller and smaller, right? Your share of somebody's wallet getting smaller. So you need to maintain whatever you can. You'll shed some. I predict a lot of people will have a shrinking, but shrinking revenue doesn't always mean that, right? You have a shrinking revenue, but if you focus on operation efficiency and internal, like structurings, you will have a healthy cash flow and healthy bottom line, and that's more important than just your top line sales.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where I think I was talking to a very, very well-known asset manager in
Yeah,
Toronto, and I was talking to their procurement, the executive vice president of procurement, and he said, Matthew, right now a dollar saved is $10 earned.
indeed.
That's their motto, and so they're and to your end, to your point, I shudder for the retailers that are going to have to announce their Q4 numbers through this Christmas
Yeah,
season, which is the
bloodbath.
biggest retail season in the world. I
Yeah,
think next year they're going to be really, really, really poor. So I think those
right.
earnings reports are not going to be as glossy in Q1 for what happened in Q4, just based
Yeah.
on the world economy and where
Toys,
we are.
Toys R Us are closing 50 stores in Canada.
Well, there you go, right? You
Yeah,
take a look at the layoffs. You take a look at Algoma Steel. Take a look at Stellantis. Take a look at
yeah,
Amazon. Take a look at Mattamy Homes. Take a look at Empire. Like, look at these
yeah,
people. They are all laying people off. So we see that, and that's
yeah,
on the operations side of things. So I guess that leads me to my last question for you. Looking at improving the bottom line, looking at staying true to what your core offering is to your clients,
yeah.
where do you want to see, as an owner of Meritas Capital,
Yeah.
where do you want to be 6 to 12 months from now? What's that goal you want to achieve? Is it more clients? Is it different line of investments? Is it more of what you know? Tell me where you want to be, Andre.
Yeah. So we are focusing on our advisory services at the moment. So that's the part that we will hit hard, helping more clients to stay in the business. I think that's first and foremost.
Yeah,
And
it's needed.
second one, yeah, and second one to help them navigate this uncharted territory because there are a lot of advisors out there. As you know, I'm not
Yeah.
the only one. But with a lot of operational capacities in our team, we've got a CPA, we've got like people with capital market experience, and myself has been in a private investment for 25 years. I've run business from hairbrush, labors, oil and gas, mining, you name it, we run it, right? Because if you work for a family, you can't be picky. Whatever they want to buy, they buy.
That's
We
right.
just, yeah, we just have to follow through and learn the industry quick and deploy. But you know what interesting, Matthew, is even though on the top level, sorry, in the details in the industry, they're all different, right? But at the core, business a business. I keep
Principles.
telling, correct. I was the CEO of a petrochemical I mentioned to you. I'm not hiding. I told my subordinates or everyone in the company, I'm not an expert in chemical. I don't even know. I skipped classes. I cannot even pronounce the product name. You know, I told them I only know 5%. Even in the industry meeting, I told them I only know 5%, but those 5% is what I need to make decision, right? So that is what I also think going is very valid today, not only for Meritas, but also for a lot of different people that you've got to go back to basic. So cash flows, healthy cash flow, maintaining clients, the story of, they call it GMR, gross selling revenue, right? And everything else is story in the past. You can sell company like WeWork, Uber, that making no money and then exaggerate exorbitant valuation, right?
Yeah.
It's gone. You can't do that anymore. And all except for certain industry, like AI, maybe still That's what they call it. Some people are afraid of air bubbles. I don't know yet, but we are not living in that inflated valuation world anymore. Everything is because capital is hard, right? Capital is very selective. Uh, there is not much of like quick liquidity that people can deploy. So you've got to invest really in your core, in the business that you understand, instead of expanding to different area. So having said that, we want to focus on advisory that we know, that we will help client navigating all this difficult situations, because that's our expertise. Then around creating value, like deploying strategy that works, and with little resources, grabbing into your market and telling them where to go right now and what not to do and what to hit hard during this difficult time.
Andre, it's this speaks to me because it actually lends into my last question. It's almost like I swear to God, people, we did not rehearse this. This is completely like it's conversational. But Andre just has a knack at hitting my next questions before I get there. So thank you for that, Andre. My last question to you would be, it's kind of a fun one. But if I had a magic wand, Andre,
Yeah,
if I held up a magic wand and I gave it to you and said, Andre, this is a magic wand. It can only solve one issue
right.
within your business. So within Meritas Capital, I'm going to give you the gift of Christmas. I'm going to give you a magic wand. You can wave it, but you can only wave it over one thing. What would that one thing be that you'd want to wave it over to see a dramatic result or a dramatic shift or change?
To reach out to more companies, basically. I know they're out there, they're looking for help, they're crying for help, but most of them fell into bad advice or from one bad place to another place. So we want to be able to find more people that we can help. We are very reasonable when it comes to fees, result, and stuff. We are not over, as you know, people usually charge initial fees and this and that. We trim all that down. We restructure our business too, so we grow along with the client's progress, instead of, we take the cash out first and then we leave the client up and dry, right? So if I can solve one problem, of course, I'd like to get in touch with more people that we can help, that we can discuss, or at least exchange idea what we can bring in to help the business to stay in business first and foremost, and then to thrive.
Listen, that is thank you for that. That's important. Do you think that this is an industry-wide issue of contacting more people, driving more top-line revenue, or is this just something more germane?
For small business, of course it is. We are a small team, we're a boutique firm. We don't have big budgets of advertising on Instagram or Facebook or everything else. So I think for small business, it is one area that they will need a lot of help, right? To get in touch with client. One thing I always tell people, if you want to buy something, try to buy from the store directly, right? Try to, if you can, try to buy directly from the brand instead of through marketplace. I don't mention the name, but instead of through marketplace, go there directly, because it will help, right? It will help those business, and those are the models that I think in the future will be more sustainable, because a lot of big businesses, they are unhealthy in terms of the relationship with the suppliers and vendors. So if I can, take the time here and plea to broader audience is reach out to, if you want to know about capital structures, take a look on our website, browse on LinkedIn, right? Real people that are around you, or if you want to buy anything, get the products around you. to spend to get in touch, not just because they are big brands and convenience. Sometimes we don't need that much convenience. I keep telling people, you don't need your vacuum cleaner in 2 days or next day or same day. If it comes in 3 days, you're not going to die. So it's okay. It come in 3 days, it's fine. You don't need same day service that a lot of marketplace offers, right? Because they have a outstanding logistic behind them. So the same thing with our business, with small business. I think we need to help the small business. We need to look for it, spend a little bit of effort. Go on, if like us professionals, go on LinkedIn, see if these guys are real. Take a look at their track records, right? Whether these people have the right skill sets and backgrounds to help you, and we can basically help each other.
Andre, this has been fantastic, and thank you. I could stay easily another hour with you, but I promised to have you out of here, and I've
Likewise.
actually gone over time a little bit. I was just checking for you, and I don't want to take more time.
Yeah.
Andre, this has been wonderful. How can people go ahead and reach you if they're interested?
Yeah, my LinkedIn is out there, Andre Sylvestre, right? And then there's my email is andresylvestre@thesylvester.net. It's my like my personal domain. I put some stuff out there every now and then on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn, so you can take a look. Some of the article of the thought that I put in, some of the work, and also if you browse on Zeneca Polytechnic, you'll find my name as one of the professors in business, technology, and finance.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here again on this episode of Beyond the Breakpoint, where we debunked all the myths and looked at things going forward with Andre Sylvestre from Meritas Capital Partners. You guys want to reach out to him? You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find him in Seneca if you feel like taking a course. Andre, thanks so much for being here, and thank you all for tuning in. Until we see you again on our next episode of Beyond the Breakpoint, I'm Matt Garnett signing out.